Welcome to Takie Buty Podcast. I'm Dorothy. I'm the sister with the bad hair.
I'm Malgosha. We're experiencing a Pineapple Express on the West Coast.
And I'm Jeff. I am also on the West Coast, living in the same house as Pineapple Express.
And we are just two sisters wanting to kind of connect, weekly, see each other, but we also just talk about how it was growing up Polish Catholic. And just like the traditions and kind of how it affected our life. So this podcast, we're going to mostly talk about Christmas traditions, but we may have to take a little side thing like the last 5 minutes or so, because Jeff grew up in a place where his high school only had 40 people.
Oh.
So we need to continue that discussion because I think in the previous podcast we talked about this, and I'm still floored to this day. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it last week. So just to let you know, we have to that is just so hard socially. That it's difficult. Okay, anyway. So I went to work the next day and I kept talking about that at work for the next 2 days. Do you know my brother-in-law? So I have one girl who grew up in Madison. And so does your school big? Well, my brother-in-law grew up in Sheboygan Falls and he only had okay. Anyway.
But Dorothy, he like us didn't go to the public high school. He went to the parochial high school, and it was a brand new parochial high school that they were just opening up. Maybe we should start by talking about this.
So we get it out of the way.
40 people. So if you had a fight with someone, you had to see them all the time.
It was less than that. Yeah.
If you had a girlfriend and you broke up with her, you saw her all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. Just and then just the classes. You went from class to class, but you went to class with all the same people.
Yes.
Jeff,
pretty much
did they do things like divide things up? If you had a really smart freshman in math, he might have been taking, or she might have been taking a junior level math class, or were you strictly going to class with the classmates?
My recollection is the first 2 years we were kind of in lockstep with each other, but then as we got through with regular core courses, it was some people went into calculus and some people stayed in algebra.
Trigonometry.
Yeah. But then how did you do sports? Did you have a
basketball played every team? Sport. You played every sport. You were in the band.
Compete? Did you compete with other schools?
Yes.
Did you ever win?
On occasion.
Did you? You did?
As in my class, no, but
how many kids did you graduate? How many kids graduated in your class?
I think it was 32 or 33, something like that.
That was the size of my 8th grade class.
Right?
Eighth grade
if
class.
You think about a basketball team, you need 5. 32, so that means you probably had 16 boys, 16 girls, I'm guessing, right? That's my math. Right. So you only had 16 people. I mean,
there were, but by the time varsity came along, there was a larger class behind ours. There were.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just really obsessed about that because it just was very devastating to me. Very, very devastating to me.
Yeah.
I just thought of all the ramifications. It could have just been so difficult.
Jeff, which sports did you play? I can't remember.
I played football and baseball. And
not basketball with your height.
Not basketball.
Not
my game.
Not your game.
I was a manager. I took pictures for the school newspaper.
Oh, you had a school newspaper.
And you were in the band. You were in the band.
I was in the band.
What did you play?
Saxophone.
You and Margie could get a little dingo and she could play the accordion. You could play the sax. Imagine the music that we could have on a podcast. And I could sing. Learn the song. The one song that we were going to use as our theme song. And I can sing that. Up, up, up. And you can play on the accordion and he can play on the sax.
Oh, this is from
Dorothy, didn't you play the flute?
I had the flute. I don't know if I necessarily played it. I spit into the flute. I don't know
if you still have it.
No, I think I rented it. I don't even think I had it for more than a few months. So I'm not musically inclined.
Where did Ma get rid of the organ to? Oh,
Allie? The alley?
Really?
Oh,
I thought she gave
wow.
it to someone.
I don't know.
Oh,
I think she probably gave it to the Radzes, and then the Radzes put it in the alley. So,
oh.
okay, sorry. I just had to digress because it really distressed me, Jeff. I felt bad for adolescent and high school and teenager Jeff. That could have been very distressed. You might have been fine
Well,
with it, but I was distressed.
yeah, there's more for a different episode. So I just kept
That's,
myself busy working. I worked. That's what I did.
Oh,
maybe
you
that's
did?
maybe that's an episode for a podcast you want to start.
Who?
Maybe,
Jeff,
maybe,
growing
maybe
up.
not.
Growing up in Wisconsin. You and Sandy could have a podcast.
Oh, that's rich. No,
You and your mom?
no.
You and your cousins. That's how you connect with all your cousins. You guys could have a.
Oh, actually, and we did after the last episode, we did do the calculation, and Jeff is one of 14 cousins. So not 20 or 30 like I
Are they
said.
all alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Imagine that podcast. Hey there. Hey there.
Well, we're hanging in there.
Packers have a good game this week too. Just as FYI, you
Hey,
guys
Bears
clobbered.
look good today.
And
Yeah, well, they played the Browns, so I mean, but yeah, next week, Saturday matchup.
I know, another house divided again. I mean, why the games
Mhm.
two weeks apart?
I don't know.
Usually there's like one at the beginning of the season, one
I
at the
know.
end of the season.
Probably because NFL thought it wasn't going to matter
Oh,
at the beginning.
Oh yeah, because like Kansas
Or
City
doing
Chiefs are
Detroit
on
too.
every, at least here, because I don't have cable, so we watch what we get on network TV, and the Kansas City Chiefs are on again. And did they win or lose,
Dallas.
Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know. I turned it off.
I think they were winning, weren't they? They were Patrick
still
Mahomes
playing.
scored a touchdown. Bills were losing, surprisingly. So
Yeah.
okay,
Sandbaggers.
I know, kind of sad, but oh well. Okay, sorry. I just had to tell you, it really distressed me. So
Wow,
maybe
but
I'll be less
distressed, not
distressed.
like thought
Are you over it?
provoking. How was it? But it distressed you.
I just would think about like adolescents, someone at that age, like if you're that age, just growing up, like you were with the same people all the time.
Again, that was not the problem. That was
I
not.
don't know.
Dorothy, hey Jeff, you say it's not the problem, but it does lead to making different choices, right? I think of Robert in grade school, same-ish 30 kids, K through 8th grade. And after that, Robert said, I want a bigger experience than that. So I'm going to pick the high school that's further away from the house, even though I don't like to drive and my parents are going to have to take me, or I have to learn public transportation, which he loved. But, that led to that choice. Jeff, do you think, maybe you going to such a small high school led to, I need to go for a little further away for college, and then I need to move away. I need to experience
That's
more.
probably part of it. Yeah, that was probably part of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
it's
molded
also-
you to the man you are now.
It's also more complicated than that too. So
Yeah, life is, unfortunately. But yeah, now I feel much better about it now. So
Good.
okay, good. Okay,
As long
Polish
as you feel
traditions.
good.
Polish traditions.
Punchki.
Punchki. I'm gonna
I have
make a
two
chruściki
recipes.
this. I'm gonna try to make chruściki this
I have
week, this
two
year.
punchki recipes I'm going to try this year.
Ooh, oh, two of them. So
I'm going to see how similar they are. But yeah.
what we're talking about are in our family, sweets was, I think we've mentioned this before, sweets was a big thing. So we're talking about the special things we always had growing up for Christmas time. Christmas for Polish people is celebrated on December 24th. It's called Wigilia.
Yep. And Vigilia starts when you see the first star in the night sky. And the Vigilia celebration, or Christmas Eve celebration, is started by the sharing of opłatki, which are beautifully decorated Christmas wafers. They usually come in squares or rectangles with a scene from the Christmas holiday. And you walk around and it's kind of like breaking bread. You're breaking opłatki. If anyone's gone to a church and they have a communion service, it's like the communion wafer texture wise that you have in church. And you walk around, and it's a time you walk around, and you, like I said, you break up, you and someone, walk towards each other. You each take a piece of each other's opłatki, and then you let past transgressions, grievances go and talk about warm wishes and the celebration of Christmas and the New Year.
And when we were growing up, again, we didn't have actual blood family around, but we had many Polish families that we just became close with. They were probably more like our cousins. Our parents were very, very close. And so it was always a large gathering growing up. That's what I remember. Going to certain people's houses, and it was chaotic in a sense because the opłatki, like you go to everybody that's there in the room and you're supposed to wish them a good wish, then the transgressions. It's kind of funny though, like now, because we usually do very small, like it's usually just the four of us and my mother-in-law. It's like kind of like anticlimactic. You're like, wah, wah. You know what I mean? Because it's like only five people. Whereas I remember growing up, it was like the chaos of like having to say to everyone, you usually get a piece of like, it's like, I don't know how big that is.
Tiny, you know, yeah.
You had to do tiny when we were growing up because you had to be able to have enough to go to each one. And it's probably the size of a large note card, I would probably say, the piece of a opłatki. But now it's like, yeah, we're like, okay, everyone has their own opłatki. You can take a big piece. So it's just kind of funny, like how things have changed, like from growing up and stuff. We love it. My kids still do it. That's one tradition they kind of love. They even love just eating the opłatki on their own. So
same with Robert. Robert loves opłatki. Yeah.
So that's how you usually started. And then typically, we digress a little bit just because my kids and my husband don't like usually we have like a mushroom soup. Growing up, we had then your first course is a mushroom soup. Right. We always had mushroom soup. We never had anything else, right?
No. Yeah. So Wigilia, the traditional Polish Wigilia is a meatless meal. So you will see seafood or fish and lots of vegetables and
there's pierogi, and pierogi there's like sauerkraut and mushroom or potato. But there's no meats. There's no ham. There's no turkey. There's nothing like that. There's no steak.
No.
And then there's supposed to be, is it 13 seats?
13 items.
No, there's 13
items.
Yeah.
And you place one extra seat. So you count the people that you have, and then you have one extra chair. And I think that tradition is for whoever, like a visitor, whoever would come.
A guest were to come, but it's also, I think, to symbolize the presence of Jesus. I think, I don't know that the symbolism was taught to us as much as I've read about it in my adult life. It was just done. This is how you did it.
Right.
So here's a question.
What's the significance of the 13?
Is it 13 or is it 12?
12 disciples plus Jesus?
I don't know, maybe. Hey, Jeff, will you look
They weren't disciples yet. He was just
Jeff,
born.
can you fact check us?
I'm going to do that.
So do you remember, like out here, it's very accustomed to put your Christmas tree up the weekend after Thanksgiving, right? And so that's what we see out here. That's really early for us. And growing up, we had an artificial tree. After Jeff and I married and moved out here, we've always gotten the live tree, and unless we go back to Chicago for the holidays or Wisconsin for the holidays. So going out to find a tree is really hard the closer you get to Christmas because it's slim pickings. We found a new place this year to go, which was absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Christmas Mountain in Scappoose. It was absolutely fantastic. And lots of trees to pick from. It was pretty to walk around. Very nice people working there, family owned. So we had a blast. But supposedly the Polish tradition is the parents put the tree up right before Christmas. And
oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't remember that growing up. And then traditionally now out here, most of our friends and family are taking the tree down right after Christmas versus, in the Polish tradition, because it's such a religious culture, the tree is kept up much longer because you're keeping it up during the Christmas season, not just for Christmas itself. Right. So
you don't take it down until after Three Kings, which is the first Sunday after Easter, right? First Sunday after Easter, yeah.
No, Christmas.
The one after, yeah.
Not Easter, Christmas.
I mean Christmas, sorry.
Yeah.
First,
is it the first Sunday?
Epiphany.
Epiphany, yeah. Epiphany.
So it's not like, because I think Easter falls like on Thursday. It's not that
Christmas.
Christmas falls on Thursday. So it's not like directly that next Sunday, but I think it's the following Sunday. So like 10
Yeah.
days after.
When do you guys take your tree down?
After the Three Kings.
Oh, okay. Same with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by then it's also kind of sad because then any of the organizations that are collecting trees as a fundraiser, they're usually closed. So we just usually take our tree outside, Jeff cuts it up, and then we use it for
Oh,
firewood.
nice. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, ours is artificial. We do artificial. So for a while when our boys were little, we did real because we did the whole thing of, you go to chop your own tree down. It's a whole thing and everything. And when they started lose interest, we still kind of lost interest. So I'm like, I just put the artificial tree up. So we do our artificial trees. So but I just put mine up today. So we're closer towards, I think, what I grew up with and stuff. I don't remember the tree being up right away. So it was always a little bit closer to the actual holiday. But anyway, so but usually we would always do the opłatki, and then afterwards we would do a soup. Ooh, Jeff's going somewhere.
There's a tree.
Jeff's leaving. Oh, there's a tree. Oh, it's a good
No
what
light.
kind of tree is it?
A Nordman.
Nordman fir.
A Norman fir. It looks very full.
It is very full.
But usually we would do a soup. I always remember mushroom soup. I don't know if that's
Same
true.
with
Other
us.
people do like a kapusta based one or borscht. Is borscht done for Christmas?
Yeah,
What do you think?
so we used to out here we celebrated Wigilia, which I always loved that there was another Polish family around. So we celebrated Wigilia with another Polish family in the Portland area, and we rotated whose house it was at. And when it was at my house, I did mushroom soup that came out of the Marshall Fields cookbook.
Oh, really?
So good, so good. And then she would always do a borscht or a beet soup with she called them
Tortellini.
with little tortellini, and they were usually mushroom filled tortellini.
Yeah.
It was always really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
What did she call them?
She was an amazing cook. She called them I think
Uszek.
uszka, like I'm saying
Ears.
it's a bed, but it's like ears. Ucho is Polish for ears, so like little ears, uszka. But
So you mentioned Marshall Fields. I'm gonna do a little side tangent here. So we have a website that has Marshall Field t-shirts. Would you be interested in that? I didn't buy you one for Christmas. I wasn't sure if you'd be interested.
I don't know if I'd be
Okay.
interested.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Think about
What do
it.
you mean?
Just hold
Oh,
it-
just like, but not
the actual writing that you remember how Marshall Fields had the green bag. So it's a green t-shirt with the white writing, exactly Marshall Fields.
Oh,
Okay, good thing I didn't get you.
no,
for
but
Christmas.
send me the link because I'm curious to see what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I digress.
No, that's okay. That's. I mean, so that was it usually started with soup, and it was one of those two soups that we were used to.
And so my family doesn't like mushroom soup. So it's usually we've done like butternut squash soup. We've done like, we don't do chicken noodle. But anyway, so that what it is. And then it's just like a smorgasbord of food then thereafter. And you just eat. And it's really, I mean, just it's when we were growing up, it was just such a fun, joyous time. Again, it's a little smaller for me now. So it's, not as joyous. It's still fun and stuff. But then the big part was the desserts. So, every Saturday growing up with us, my mom always made a cake for Sunday. So we always had some type of cake. It was like a babka or like a pineapple cake, something. But then for Christmas, we got rogaliki, which are like the little rolled up, I don't know what they're called. I don't know.
Kind of like rugellas, but
rugellas. There you go.
But mozz were a little longer
Little pastry.
and
What is it?
finer. I
Yeah.
feel like rugellas are thicker cookies. Mozz are very thin and very
Yeah.
dainty.
Delicate.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Yeah.
And then we always got punchki. Punchki were the big thing. So I think most people know what punchki are because we get them for Fat
They're
Tuesday.
yeasted donut balls.
Oh my
And
God. They were
I always felt like Maz were the best because she didn't fill them with the
Yes.
prune filling that's very popular
Yes.
in Polish pączki, but she and just powdered sugar covered.
Yeah, she didn't fill them at all, right?
Not at
Ever.
all, no.
Ever.
No,
Which
that's
I thought was
what I
the
remember.
best because it was this fantastic yeasted dough that was fried and then powdered
Don't you
sugar.
find it amazing that she fried that just in like a pan, like a pot? Like it just blows my mind that and it wasn't a fancy pot. It wasn't a Dutch oven. It wasn't anything. It was just an aluminum pot. And those things were freaking amazing. Do you also, as an adult now, appreciate how much oil was in there? Like, you have to buy a lot of oil to fry these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Things you don't think about when you're a kid just eating this stuff. But
Yeah.
It's like $25 for oil by
yeah.
today's.
yeah. Yeah.
I would always make Jello cheesecake, which was something
Yep.
she was known
Yep.
for. And for anybody who doesn't love Jello, that's too bad. But it was
You suck.
it was a cheesecake, but it had a cake, not cake consistency, because it was still the smoothness of cream cheese, but because it had some flour in it, it was a little cake like. You'd make it she'd make it hers in a 9 by 13 inch pan. You would, after you baked it, you chilled it, and at the same time you were making the Jello, and it was always red Jello, and you made the Jello to the point where it was firming up, but it was still spreadable. You just didn't want it to soak into the cake, and then you spread it on top of the Jello, of the cake itself.
Our mom was a guru. She was like a genie or something, because the Jello was always perfect. Like I've made it before where the Jello's a little too thick or it's too runny or whatever. She was a freaking amazing baker. I mean, all her sweets were always just spot on,
they were
amazing.
fantastic. Yeah. And then she wasn't very big into making them, although I think she made them once in a while. I think Chacha made them more often, where hrushchiki, and hrushchiki are like angel's wings, just
Fried dough.
just fried dough, thin, crunchy, and with powdered sugar on top. Nothing better. Nothing.
I'm gonna try to make those. So that's what I'm trying to make this year.
Where are you getting your recipe from?
Do you get like the P&A newsletter? Do you have still?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
So in the back of there, like a year ago or 2 years ago, I had saved. I just saw it and found it. So it was in the last page. How they have the recipes on the last page of that book. So the last page on the hrushchiki. So I'm gonna try. It seems rather simple. So
yeah.
And then I followed that Polish housewives.
I know what you're talking about.
But she has them on her webpage also, because you can direct to her webpage, and she has it on her webpage as well. So.
And Polish sweets aren't that sweet. Right. You don't see a lot of chocolate, and they're not very sugary. But that reminds me, Ma always made those cookies, cut out cookies for Christmas, and not sweet at all unless you added a little bit of sugar on the top, but fluffy and so good. I don't know that I have the recipe for that.
Oh, and I make those cookies all the time.
I know
all the time.
So will you send the recipe to me? Either take a picture of it or something like that.
And anybody who is watching this podcast and like any of our recipes, please just put a little comment section or tag us, and we'll be more than happy to share our recipes with you as well.
But the thing to remember the thing to remember about our mother's recipe is Dorothy, after our mom died, Dorothy and I would talk about the recipes and would share the version we had, because they were not always the same version. Jeff has a great story of once asking Ma how to make something, and she gave him the ingredients, and he said, well, but what about salt? And she said, well, of course you add salt. And he would say, and pepper? Oh, of course you add pepper. Those aren't part of the ingredients list. That's just things you know to do. So
how much do you add? Just the right amount.
Well, she wouldn't even measure, right? She'd be like, okay, it's in there. Well, it's funny. We didn't realize we were missing ingredients till we ate. We tried it, we baked it, or we made it, and then we're like, oh, it doesn't quite taste the same. And so I would call my sister. I'd be like, that doesn't taste right. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. And then she would send me hers. I'm like, yeah, because there was no vanilla in it. Yeah, because there was no butter in it. There's butter, but we're like, yeah. So my mom was an amazing cook and baker, especially. Terrible teacher. Terrible.
And she would wholeheartedly admit that she
had no patience either. If I was ever baking with her and I didn't roll it right, or she would just like basically hit me and then move me out of the way. She would take off, where I'm like, alrighty then. So this is not a good way to learn. Or she'd be like, what? There's this great like other thing I watch on Instagram. It's like he makes fun of his mom, but same thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you know what you're doing? Like a Polish mom just gets so mad at you. But it was wonderful times. I remember the house always smelled great. Yeah. Even to this day, like when my boys were little, we always celebrate at my mom's house for Wigilia and Easter and stuff, and they would always look forward to is Babcia making punchki? Is Babcia making this? Like they were just really looked forward to her sweets as well.
And she loved her grandson. So yeah.
So it's funny. She had 2 girls, and I think when we were pregnant, she probably would have loved to have had granddaughters, because she loved to shop and buy dresses. But man, she had 3 grandsons, and those 3 were like the apple of her eye. That'll be a whole nother episode, because how Margie and I grew up and how our kids grew up very different in the light of my mother and stuff. So another thing we could talk about one day too, Jeff, is how she treated the sons-in-laws. I think you and Steve would have very, very similar stories. Yeah, probably very different too.
Would Steve join us for that episode? So
he'll have to. I'll make him do that one. I'll make him do that one. I was gonna make him do this one because he can never say "Vaso is schwant." Because Merry Christmas is Vaso is schwant. He was Vaso is schwant. It was always like my kids couldn't say it, nobody could say it. But that's Vaso is schwant is Merry Christmas, basically.
Yeah.
So
happy holidays.
They always had to say it walking into my mom's house, my boys and my husband. So kind of funny. So.
Very fun.
And that went by fast again. I know you guys always hear us saying it. It goes by so fast.
I know. We're about to get done, but remember to like and subscribe. Tell us your favorite